Life will hit you harder than you expect, sometimes out of nowhere, sometimes when you're already struggling to stay on your feet. And when it happens, the world gets quiet, people move on, opportunities disappear, and you're left staring at the ground, wondering if you have it in you to stand back up. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Everyone falls. The strongest, the smartest, the kindest. All of them. But what separates those who rise from those who stay down is resilience. Falling doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're in it. It means you're showing up, putting yourself out there, and risking something real. And yeah, sometimes that leads to pain. Sometimes it leads to failure. But the fall is never final unless you stay there. Resilience isn't about pretending everything's okay. It's about facing what's not. It's about standing in the wreckage of what you thought would work and deciding to rebuild anyway. Because there's power in pain if you choose to use it. There's power in disappointment if you choose to learn from it. There's power in failure if you refuse to let it define you. You weren't built to break. You were built to bend, to grow, to evolve. You were built to take the hit and then figure out how to move forward anyway. So if life knocked you down, good. Now you get to find out what you're really made of. Get up. Not because it's easy, but because this chapter isn't over, and neither are you. Resilience isn't about being fearless. It's not about being tough all the time or acting like nothing hurts. It's not a mask. It's not a performance. Resilience is when you feel broken and still show up. When you're exhausted, but keep taking steps. When your confidence is shattered, but you still dare to believe in something better. It's quiet. It's gritty. It's forged in the moments no one sees. Because being resilient doesn't mean you don't fall apart. It means you rebuild. Every scar tells a story. Every setback carries a lesson. And every time you stand back up, you're telling the world, I'm not done yet. That's resilience. It's not about pretending to be okay. It's about choosing to keep going even when you're not. It's realizing that the road ahead might be long, might be rough, but your feet still work and your heart's still beating. So you go, one step, then another. Resilience is realizing that no one's coming to save you and still choosing to save yourself. It's taking ownership of your comeback, of your mindset, of your next move. And yes, you're allowed to cry. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to want to give up. But what you're not allowed to do is let that moment define you forever, because you've come too far. You've grown too much. You've survived too many storms to stop here. You've got more in you than you think. And every time you rise, even a little, you're proving it. This is what it means to be resilient, to break and rebuild, to fall and rise, to suffer and still shine. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be relentless. The hardest fight you'll ever face isn't with the world. It's with the voice in your head, that voice that whispers, you're not good enough. You've failed too many times. Why even try? Resilience isn't just standing up against life's punches. It's standing up to your own doubt, to your fear, to the comfort of quitting when it gets heavy. No one talks about how lonely it gets, how silent those nights feel when you question everything, when motivation disappears and all that's left is discipline or nothing. But this is where the growth happens, in the dark, in the quiet. When you choose to keep showing up, even when your heart is tired and your mind is screaming to stop. Most people fold here, because the battle with yourself, that's the one without cheers, without applause. No one sees you win that fight, but it changes everything. That's what real resilience is. It's dragging yourself out of bed on the days you don't see the point. It's writing one more sentence, running one more mile, showing up for one more rep. Not because it's glamorous, but because you promised yourself you would. You don't need anyone else's permission. You don't need anyone else's timeline. You just need the strength to say, I'm not stopping here. Look in the mirror. That's your opponent, but that's also your teammate. You've got to learn to silence the fear and amplify the fire. You may be fighting yourself, but you're also building yourself. And every time you choose to rise again, you're becoming someone that fear can't control. There will come a moment when everything in you says, I can't. Your body aches, your mind is clouded, your heart feels heavy, and the path ahead looks like a mountain built just to break you. That's the moment you have a choice. Not the easy kind, not the kind where someone tells you what to do, but the kind that defines you. The kind where you decide who you are when no one's watching. Do you stay down or do you rise? Resilience is not a talent. It's not a gift. It's a decision you make when everything hurts and you still refuse to quit. There will be times when the wins are invisible. No applause, no recognition, just you and your decision to keep going. But that's where the strongest people are made. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. In the quiet spaces where no one's clapping, no one's congratulating. Yet you keep building, keep grinding, keep believing. Because surrender is seductive. It says, you've done enough. It whispers, no one cares anyway. It convinces you that slowing down means stopping, that rest means weakness, that failure means final. But you're not here for easy. You're not built for average. You're not breathing just to give up when it gets uncomfortable. You've got a fire inside you. Maybe it's dim right now. Maybe life has poured water on it again and again. But the embers are still glowing, and you only need one breath, one decision, one more try to ignite it again. You rise because you've already survived worse. You rise because deep down, you know there's more for you. You rise because if you don't, you'll never know what was waiting on the other side of this pain. Every person you admire, every name that echoes through time, they had moments like this. Moments where it would have been easier to walk away, but they didn't. They rose, and they kept rising. And now it's your turn. Don't surrender your story because one chapter is painful. Don't throw away your future because today is hard. Don't believe the lie that you're not cut out for this, because if you weren't, you wouldn't still be here. You're here because you've got more to do, more to build, more to overcome, and more to become. So breathe, stand, and rise again.